In this video, let's conceptually understand coordinate geometry. The concept of coordinate geometry is built on the idea of coordinates, which is the basic information that helps us to define the position of an object or a point. Here, if we look at this figure, we have points P and Q at positions -4 and 9. Coordinate geometry helps us in defining positions of point P and Q. Now the question is, how many data points are required for specifying the position of any point on this line? Well, the answer is only one. So that is why this is representation in one dimension. Now let's see the application of one dimension in real life. Here, in place of point P and point Q, we have a girl and a boy standing. How will you represent their positions now? Well, we will say at -4 a boy is standing and at 9 a girl is standing. Now let's look at coordinate geometry in two dimensions. Let's talk about position of an object in plane. So here, surface of the table, this decorated paper and graph sheet are examples of plane. If we take the example of this fruit basket lying on the surface of the table, how do we specify its position? For doing this now, we would require two data points. Let's see how this will be done. Here we can see rows and columns of chairs, and if a person is sitting on one of the chairs, let's say the person is sitting on this chair, how will we describe his position? For describing the position of this person, is it enough to mention the row in which he is sitting? That means this is the row. Or is it the column only which we require for describing the position, or we require both? Well, here we require both. We require the row also and the column also. That is why this is two-dimensional data, because it requires two data points. Now let's see relationship between data points. If we have multiple data points, how can we represent them? One way can be like this. So here we have randomly represented the data points. There is no relation between the points. And as we can see in the second and third figure, there must be some pattern, some correlation between the data points also. Here we can see the birds forming a pattern in the sky. This also is an example of pattern of positions of objects. Let's summarize what we have learnt in this video. We learned that coordinate geometry is a system to represent a point or collection of points precisely. In one dimension, only one data point is required to define the position. In two dimensions, two data points are needed to define the position. We also learned to represent the relationship with the position coordinates and saw how one data varies based on the other.